You are the resistance.
I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Well, the guy who wants the Nobel Peace Prize started a war.
Once again, we send off my war rig to bring back gasoline.
What of you?
It's hard to be that stupid and still not have to be reminded to breathe in and breathe out. You know, maybe that's Melania's job. Hey, Mel, just forget to remind him for about an hour and maybe we can end this fucking nightmare. So, Sweet Potato Hitler has decided he's going to cause regime change in Iran. The good news is that whenever we try to get involved in the Middle East, it's always worked out perfectly. You know, remember the Shah of Iran? Yeah, that worked out. We started that. And that's why we are here now. The good news is that the people in the Middle East don't have a history of holding grudges for 2,000 years. Every time the U.S. has decided to get involved in changing the regime of a country, it's always worked out perfectly. You know, like Vietnam and Nicaragua, Afghanistan, Iraq, Florida. And it's always worked out cheaply and peacefully, as long as we pave the way to regime change with the bodies of American soldiers. And on 9/11, American civilians. We've always got so much out of getting involved in the other country's business. Like out of Vietnam, we got, out of Afghanistan. You know, we got the
British and the Americans have spent billions, but the policy has been an abject failure.
Okay, all right, but after we invaded Iraq, we got 4,400 dead Americans and a couple of $1 trillion spent for no fucking reason. Yeah! The good news is that this time we have the dumbest, most ignorant, top-notch, bankrupt, loser, pedophile, rapist in charge. Yeah, so take a deep breath and relax, because we're fine.
What of you?
And the Secretary of Defense, this genius, is an alcoholic, sexual assaulting douchebag who does pull-ups like Stephen Hawking, who, by the way, is also in the Epstein Trump files, which is why we are bombing Iran, because the president is in those files over 1 million times. So we're going to be fine. Relax. He'll start a world war and then we'll all ride into Valhalla on a hypersonic missile. Listen, we have the man who said American soldiers were suckers and losers. And that same guy is sending our soldiers to die.
True American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation. And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is.
In a country that didn't attack us. And in fact, we had a deal with that country that this president made. We had a deal. This guy's deal made it so Iran couldn't make nuclear weapons, and we had inspectors making sure it was happening. But then this dickhead decided that the Iran nuclear deal that would have given us decades of peace was bullshit because it was negotiated by the black guy. The same black guy that shredded the orange loser president at the Correspondents' Dinner more than a decade ago. And because of that one night of stand-up comedy, we have been put through a decade of nightmare. So let's show a clip, because we're here already.
Mr. Trump, he certainly would bring some change to the White House.
So the truth is, World War III can be traced back to one brutal roast by the first black president. Damn you, Obama! And by the way, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Man, the problem is when you get some douchebag that's got such a thin skin, you got to be careful. Can't make fun of him. He's got to be the dear leader. That fat fuck, loser, rapist, child, humping pedophile. Ah! Hey everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. With me as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And me. And Chaplain and Groucho.
Yep, they're here.
Yeah.
They're
Say hi.
friendly.
Yep, there you go.
Yep.
In their ties.
Yep.
In their suits.
Hi, River. Did you show Chappie? They're my
I did. I showed Chappie.
What a weird week.
It's, you know, you keep thinking that it can't get weirder. First of all, if we just have to go down the list of it, it started with him coming down the escalator talking about how Mexicans were rapists and thieves, and then it moved on to shithole countries, and then it moved on to he just tweeted out that trans people won't be allowed in the military anymore, and then he wanted to build a wall, and then Bannon and those guys got busted for then he basically Manafort. Then we figured out he was a Russian asset, and then he's connected to Russia through all these years, and then then the election is weird. He tries to kill write-in voting, and then he loses. And then, oh, by the way, sorry, he fucked up COVID so bad we had 1 million people die, and we were stacking bodies in refrigerator trucks.
That was a high point.
That was a high point. And then he got out. Then we got Biden, who came in, and what are you saying? We didn't hear about him every day.
Yep.
Biden wasn't screaming into a mic all the time. He just signed the infrastructure to the CHIPS Act, turned the country around, took inflation from 9% to 2.7%, and then they were like, you know what, I don't really like the way Biden's handling it. Have you seen the price of eggs? Go fuck yourself.
And he's old.
And you know what? He's old. And you know what? And yet then we get the second term where from day one, we have Elon Musk and Doge going and destroy basically our government, take down then he fires anybody in the military who might go up against him, fires all the top generals, fires all the IGs, so they can't, so now we can't even audit what he's doing anymore. So that means, now he's taking me left and right. He's doing crypto scams. Then he puts ICE on the streets, and we have the Gestapo basically shooting and beating up fucking and disappearing people that are here legally. And we just keep sitting here. And now he's actually bombed Iran. And that always works out with us. If you
Venezuela, where is that guy?
Yeah, Venezuela. Where's Maduro?
Where is his wife? What's happening?
Yeah, exactly.
Shouldn't we have seen a televised arraignment or something? Did I miss
something on the news? And what about the guy who the kid who tried to assassinate him? They shot. What happened to that guy? What happened to the kid who killed Charlie Kirk?
And the trans person that was supposedly, but then wasn't.
And he wasn't dating the trans person. Like what? So nothing makes sense. Everything gets weirder day by day. And now we're in this fucking place where we basically have started one in the middle, and they don't have a plan. Here's the thing about it. Congress didn't approve any of it. Congress, we need to get rid of every fucking human being in Congress. I'm talking because I've never seen, the Republicans are more corrupt than they've ever been in my lifetime. And I was alive during Nixon. And the Democrats are so inept. How the fuck are they all just banging on the walls? And they showed a picture of Congress today. There's nobody there. We're at war with a fucking country right now for no reason, by the way. Why are we going at war with Iran?
Well, he's, based his entire career as a politician on a couple of things, but one of the largest ones, even before he was a politician, was no more forever wars.
Right.
He even tweeted that Obama was going to attack Iran so he could stay in office or something. What was that exact tweet?
Yeah, exactly. So he cannot have elections.
That's right.
And
that's right.
He's already said that. There was something on Threads today. I could be wrong, but it said he's already in an interview. He said, we can't. The quote is, we can't have elections if we're at war. We just can't have the midterms if we're at war. So all I can tell you people is this. Trump attacked Iran like he didn't think Iran was going to do anything, like they were just going to fold. They started bombing Dubai. They started bombing Abu Dhabi. They started actually blowing up Trump hotels in the Middle East. And if you actually think that the Iranian government is not going to send out jihad squads, or there's people, what if there's sleeper cells already in America? And he just basically kicked open he just lit the fuse. Something's going to happen. And as we saw from 9/11, whenever we get involved in the Middle East, it always works out perfectly. Holy shit. So now, and China said there was a bunch of planes that took off from China, and they turned their transponders off, so we couldn't find them. And supposedly it was 25 bombers that landed in Iran, and they're going to help them with electronic surveillance and equipment. So now we've got China helping Iran. Iran has already asked Putin for help. Putin is so fucked because Zelensky's kicking his ass right now. Oh, here's something funny. And did you notice that the second that they stopped sharing intelligence with us about what was going on the battlefield in Russia and Ukraine, that all of a sudden Ukrainians started beating the shit out of the Russians?
I did find that very interesting.
Isn't that telling?
I did find that really interesting.
So we were getting intel from the other countries about what was going on with the Russian troops and Ukrainian troops.
Putin was really successful
in reacting against them,
interceding some of those maneuvers.
And the only reason our allies would stop giving us intelligence information is because they figured out that, oh shit, Trump's passing it on to Putin. That's the only possible explanation.
And he's an idiot.
God, he's an idiot. Man.
So here you've been talking so quickly and not.
I'm
breathing.
trying to talk slowly.
Oh, you're fired up. I wanted to tell you back on that way back when we were mentioning the midterms and him possibly canceling it. PBS did put out an article because a draft executive order, a 17-page proposal, draft executive order, has been circulating among Trump's cabinet and allies, and it got leaked, and PBS did an article about it. It is a proposal. It's a working document that would give Trump extraordinary power over the 26 midterm elections. It claims to address election integrity issues caused by foreign interference. It plans to declare a national emergency. The president could take control over voting mechanisms in the country, including requiring hand counting of all ballots and voter ID at the polls. He was asked about it by PBS News, and he said, "Who told you that?"
You know, he's not even a good supervillain. He's not even a good villain. You know,
the proposed order also requires that voters nationwide must hand mark paper ballots for them to be counted, and that the hand counting process would occur in public, because that's going to be so easy. Hand counting, okay, with people in public, so that they can be watched. Everybody's got to be able to watch. It also proposes that voters re-register for the 26 election through their own county and list proof of citizenship as a requirement. So you know how hard it is to get everybody to register the first time, and then sometimes how many problems you run into, like there's an error or you don't get your ballot.
Someone says, I can't, your name's not spelled correctly the way you signed
whatever it is. I mean, and a lot of times people do it through the DMV, and we know how efficient DMVs always are. This proposal is circulating now, and the elections are in months.
7 months?
So, yeah, that would not give people a lot of time depending on when this comes out.
We can go over ETA again if you want, but the reality the reason he wants to do this with take over the machines and stuff, because the machines have modems in them. The machines actually send their voting data to another source. In that process, the votes can be changed. We actually showed with ETA that there's a Russian tail in 2020 and in 2024. Although, if you remember correctly, Nathan took us back to 2016 and was like, look at the vote. The data's the same in 2016. So he's been fucking with the vote since 2016. And here's the thing about Trump you always know. I also want to point up our Bannon thing about QAnon.
He always says what he's doing.
Always says what he's doing. He always accuses everybody he's doing. Now, if you guys remember, he's been bitching about, and we've been saying this for years, he bitched about voter fraud, because he was committing voter fraud. And if you look at what Elon Musk did now, so here's the problem. We got Elon Musk, who gives him $260 million. Then Elon wants all the data. Trump gets elected. By the way, there's another, during the night of the election, did you know there was a big change? Oh, we said this. There was a big software change. Mm-hmm. Nathan pointed out. It was called minimalistic, though, so it didn't have to be reported or what it was. And it was 1 or 2 lines of code. That's all it would take to actually change the whole voting system to where it gave Trump an extra 3%. So if you look at what Nathan, go back to our ETA episode, Nathan points out that at 500 votes in 2020, all of a sudden everything started changing for Trump in some of the swing states. If you look at them, but he lost because of COVID. He fucked it up. He lost because of COVID and the write-in vote. That's why he tried to stop the write-in vote during the mail. Remember, he was saying he tried to shut down Joy. He slowed the mail down because he didn't want the votes to show up. So he loses in 2020, comes back in 2024. Why would you come back in 2024? Because you knew you could win. How did you know you could win? Because you had someone that would set it up.
Elon,
and Elon knows those voting machines like nobody knows them. That's what he said.
And we now know from the Epstein Files, the dump that Bannon was going to start pumping out disinformation and flood the zone with crazy information about Democrats,
pedophiles, and having a pedophile ring.
so that they could scare all of the Republicans who are more conservative into like, oh God, I have to save the country from evil. So even if I don't like him, I have to vote for him because they're eating babies. And now
we find out that jerky, they started talking about jerky in the files. They started talking about torture videos. I
just wanted to say,
am I talking really fast?
You are cranked.
Am I? I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying.
Somebody told me in Denver this week, you have to get him to take a breath and just calm down. I'm worried about his heart.
On stage?
On the podcast last week.
Country's falling apart.
Yes. But conservative podcaster Shannon Joy, who has a massive following, actually just posted to X today. Trump doesn't seem to care about the midterms. Who wants to bet he'll declare a national emergency because of Iran or some other manufactured crisis and try to cancel the elections in November? Marjorie Taylor Greene responded, "Yep, I can see it. Insane." So even his most loyal followers are seeing what's coming.
It's kind of good she's taking off the knee pads. I got to be honest.
Well, I think she's always out for herself.
True, I agree. But at least she's put on the knee pads for herself now.
They're definitely now, MAGA influencers are definitely in a civil war with themselves. They are fighting now over this Iran thing. Obviously, so many of them trusted for some reason that he said we would not. No more forever wars. You
mean the guy that's lied from the time he was born and lied during his first term 33,000 plus times, lied everything he said has been a lie? You think the on the war thing, that's the one?
I know there were so many things before.
The guy is such a pussy too. It's always funny. It's never like Eisenhower. It's never the military guys that want to go to war. They're like, no. We've been to war. We know how bad it is. It's always these pillow-fisted daddy boy fucks who never went to war, who actually got out of the military 5 times because of bone spurs, who are like, we need to go to war. Why? Because I'm a man. And Hegseth, who does, as I said in the Armageddon update, does pull-ups like Stephen Hawking.
Say what you said about Stephen Hawking on the radio.
What did I say about Stephen Hawking?
The Epstein, that he was in the Epstein.
He's in the. We were talking. And he goes.
He's mentioned in the Epstein Files.
Yeah, he's. There's pictures of him on the island with a drink and girls. And by the way, they look like normal. They look like of age girls next to him. They don't look like 14-years. And you just go, you got to give him a pass.
He means if they were of age, not if they were only of age.
Right, of age.
But that's the one guy you'll give a pass. It's like,
all right.
Laura Loomer.
He's the Make-A-Wish kid of the billionaires.
I can't.
No.
Laura Loomer can I just say tweeted? Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Tweeted, 3 U.S. service members have been killed in action as part of Operation Epic Fury.
Epic Fury.
American
Midnight Hammer.
heroes. God bless them and their families.
Oh, God. This jingoistic.
Marjorie Taylor Greene responded. She's busy responding. This bitch is celebrating the death of American military members and thanking their families for their blood sacrifice. Loomer lost 2 congressional races because nobody respects or values her enough to elect her. But this is who Trump takes late night calls from and laps up. I don't know. It goes on. It's it's like...
I will say this. I do love that Marjorie Taylor Greene is probably a heinous human being from the day when she was heckling David Hogg, about the shooting. A heinous human being, but at least she's so vile. At least she's turning her vile on these other people.
It keeps going. She says how Laura Loomer hated Charlie Kirk because he spoke out against the war with Iran the same way she does. Yep. She says it's America last, not America first.
Wow.
Now Americans are once again coming home in flag-draped coffins from another stupid, pointless foreign war for foreign regime change on behalf of Israel. And Laura Loomer demanded it and begged for it. Sign up for the military, Laura. Go to the front lines, Laura. Maybe then they'll give you a gun. You don't love Trump enough unless you go fight Iran yourself. I'm enjoying this.
Can we?
I think she's batshit crazy.
I think she's batshit crazy, but I am enjoying her turning her vitriol on someone else. I have a question. So Netanyahu obviously is a bad guy. Now Israel has been fucked with for 2,000 years, and the Jews have been. However, at one point, you get a guy like Netanyahu who's really not following the peaceful teachings of the Torah or any of the Jewish religious book. He's like a right-wing psychopath. Like they murdered thousands and thousands of children and women in Gaza. And at one point, why are we all afraid of Israel when they're causing the trouble?
I don't know. I think they're all confused too. Half of them hate Jews and half of them are considering converting to Jude. I mean, and we know some people, like the right-wingers. Yeah. The other half hate them and think they control everything and want them to die. It's the whole MAGA movement is so twisted.
Yeah.
And ungrounded and unresearched. They don't make sense. Nothing makes sense. It is not the Republican Party.
No. And they're really good at ignoring everything, like on their side.
I mean, Donald Trump came out and said, like flat out said, that this war could last far longer than a month. Our involvement, our men and women over there. He's tossing it off so casually that we're just going to have people over there on the ground.
Oh, he said, he goes, it's a shame we've lost some people, but you know, there's going to be many more. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry, fucker. Did you just say that's just the way it is? That's not the man who's protecting our troops. That's not the man who's protecting the Constitution.
Well, that's not the man that even went when he was supposed to be.
You could have stopped at that's not a man. You could have stopped there.
As Kenny would say, period.
Period.
Yeah. I mean, it really pisses me off that he was supposed to go, lied multiple times, and didn't even lie like with a real dude lie.
Right.
It's not even his lie isn't manly. I have bone spurs.
Bone spurs. Ow!
Owie.
Ow! It's hard for me to walk anywhere.
I've got corns.
I saw a very funny meme that said that Barron has been rushed to the hospital with bone spurs.
Yeah, I bet. And yeah, not one of his kids, no one in his family, nobody serves in the military.
Nope.
But he's fine with casually sending them over to die.
Yep.
He said now the regime already had missiles capable of hitting Europe and our bases, both local and overseas.
And they have.
And would soon have had missiles capable of reaching our beautiful America.
I want to point out and remind everybody, and I reminded you in the Armageddon update, that we had a deal signed by President Barack Obama that basically made it so Iran could not make nuclear weapons. They could not have long-range missiles. On top of that, we had there was a provision in that we had to inspect all the time. We were inspecting their centrifuges. We were inspecting their weapons manufacturing. We were inspecting it. And the whole point was to leave them the fuck alone.
And who did that deal?
Barack Obama did that. The black guy.
Okay, the black guy that he posted a video of as an ape. Got it.
Right.
Okay.
And so when he came in, what did Trump do with that deal? Because that deal was done. It was working.
He got rid of it.
Yeah. Why did he get rid of it? He said
because Barack Obama was responsible.
And he was the black guy. So, and he ripped on him, which, by the way, we showed clips in the Armageddon update of him tearing him up at the correspondence dinner, which I think is really funny still. I mean, that, by the way, so that correspondence dinner caused Trump to run for president and made him mad. And he's still like that. And I still think it was worth it.
Boy, I gotta tell you, if you guys watch that and you zoom in on his face, he's like sitting in the dark. Either that or he just gathers darkness around him wherever he goes, because everyone in the audience is oddly lit and it's just like a dark cloud, and the anger just rippling off of him is chilling to me.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Somebody just making a funny little joke about him, like they did about everyone else, you know? He just is such a bitch. Sorry.
A little tiny bitch. You know what else? A little note for everybody. If you're ever in a place, wedding, whatever, and someone's roasting you, laugh. You look like a hero. You look like, that's funny. That's great. You know, beat their ass in the parking lots, you know, slash their tires later. But when people can see you, laugh because you look like your person. I want to talk about this conspiracy theory.
Always laugh at yourself. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
One moment that I learned that was important. I always laugh at myself. Like I am such a klutz.
And other people.
Oh, I do.
You laugh.
if people I love fall, just give me a minute because
Yeah.
I think it's the funniest. My
And you're trying
sorority
not to
sister
pee. You need to control.
still, yeah, and I don't always succeed. My sorority sister still talks about the night we felt we were. Like it's in Shreveport, like those apartments with the outside wooden stairs to the second floor. And we were definitely high and drinking. And we walked out and she tripped and she went down the whole flight of stairs and then landed in the like really not soft bush at the at the bottom. I have never laughed so. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. And she, to her credit, was in the bush, couldn't get out, and she was hysterical. But she still mentions how I laughed first before I checked on her.
We don't know if her ribs are broken and you guys are hysterical.
Do you remember that time that you fell down?
Yes, I was mad and I was slipped. I know exactly what you're talking about.
We had hardwood stairs at our old house in Burbank, and you had your suitcase at the top of the stairs, and you were in socks. Do you remember this? And
and I bounced down the stairs and on a rambler.
It was the strangest thing because
I couldn't stop.
He couldn't stop himself because he was in socks, but he was trying to stop himself and the suitcase was going down behind him. But
Chasing me.
Was like slow-mo where I was like, oh, he's got it.
Because I kept putting my legs down to stop it. My socks would flip out and then my butt would slap off the next step and I just went ding, 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 ding while the suitcase was chasing me. So I have this, I'm literally, it's the worst Indiana Jones impression ever. Like a suitcase as the giant ball. I'm going down the stairs. Boom, 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 boom.
It was so good. I love falls. What did you think I was going to talk about?
Do you remember the time we were somewhere and they had mopped the floor and I was mad and I walked away from it. I said, you know what? And I walked away and I slipped and I did a 360 and then I slapped down on my hands after I had just said some really harsh like right and I walked away like a tough guy and I went whap, whap, and my hands slapped the ground and you laughed your ass off and I had to give it up. I couldn't be mad anymore because I was like, I have just lost all the power.
My sister still brings this up every time. We were in Beaufort, North Carolina. We got coffee. We were crossing the street and she had on platform wedges and a mini skirt, but she had chosen that day to wear her safety underpants.
No.
On like jockeys, like big full bottom. And she was holding her coffee and she was in the middle of the crosswalk and because the streets are kind of uneven there, and she tripped and just went down and the coffee full exploded and that little short mini skirt was like a belt. It was like around her waist and there were people behind us, a family crossing, and I am bent over holding on my knees and she said I was pointing and laughing.
You do that.
I was hysterical.
Yeah, your thing is like your thing. Once you get to that point where either I fall down, anybody falls down, and it's ridiculous. Anybody does a Three Stooge move, you will stop, bend over, point in case anybody watching you doesn't know what you're laughing at. Can I bring more audience into my humiliation? No, Rachel,
so
just look what Rachel's pointing.
It's so good.
It's not good. It's
thank
horrible.
You all for your service.
You're a bad person.
To my endorphins.
Deep down.
The time I didn't laugh at myself because, like, my whole life, you and I are not the most graceful people. We have a lot of
we're
limbs.
lanky. Yes, a lot of length and yes.
Yeah. And like in college, my first year of college, I walked to the front of my history class and it was one of those big like symposium classrooms, circular.
Right. Like a theater.
Seat, yeah. And he called me down to the front and I had to hand in my paper. And it was, I was a 90s kid. So I had on a baby doll dress with Doc Martens. And my dress, when I went to the bathroom, I guess got tucked into the back of my thong. And I didn't know because it's already breezy under there.
And by the way, as beautiful as you are, no one's going to tell you.
This girl tackled me from behind.
Really?
I just remember like, she was like, your underwear. Oh my God. And I laughed really hard about that. Like I always laugh when I fall and stuff like that. Like we have video when we were doing our COVID shorts.
Right. Oh my God, you going down there? That I've never seen a better fall than that. You couldn't have planned that.
It's better. Actually in my reel on YouTube. If you guys go to my channel, it's at the end.
If you guys, and I'm sure you guys did when you watched our stuff we did over COVID, we left it in, right?
Yeah, but
Spice
I
Basket
actually,
Cafe.
Ken and I put it at the end of my acting reel
Spice Basket Cafe.
because I love it so much.
What was it? What was the girl's name you were playing?
Randy with an I,
Randy
because
with
I
an
believe
I.
in I. No, I don't believe in I believe in we.
But
believe in
Randui is a
us.
weird name. So she goes, you threw spaghetti on me because I was playing the the pro-Trump song with Vernon, whatever his name was.
Lots of
Yeah.
sauce.
And there's
stuff.
sauce on the floor. She goes to close it out and starts to slip.
To be fair, I decided I was going to try and Pratt slip like he does.
Were you going to do that?
Because you did it in Titus. It's so cool. It's fun looking. I was trying to do what you
You got to
did.
practice it.
Well, I didn't know that.
Holding on to something. You can't just do that.
Plus, I had on like really slippery leather bottom flip flop things. And I decided I was going to do your thing and see what that was like.
And it did not work out. So she did it during a live taping. So what happens is that she slips, and then she goes, and you can see she loses where you're gone. You're not in control of it anymore.
If you listen on the video, you will hear me start very calmly go, oh.
Then she reaches for the mic stand, which is bolted to nothing.
You now do not see me in frame anymore, but the microphone stand comes straight up into the camera. And you hear whap, and then you hear him off camera come over. Oh my God, Ray, are you okay?
Yeah.
And I say from the floor, we got it on camera, right? And then you start laughing.
You were sore for a while after that. That was bad.
That same night, you guys were so worried about me. We had been filming all day here in the studio, and you guys were like kind of worried about me because I went down so hard and hit my head and everything. I went up the stairs to the office in those same fucking shoes. And
oh my God, I remember this.
I fell like an hour later all the way down the stairs. And the walls here have some of them, because it's soundproof, they have almost like chicken wire over
holding
padding.
The sound. Yeah, holding the sound.
So down the stairs is like that. I get to the bottom of the stairs and I jump up because I cannot let you guys know that I have just fallen again.
Because we're already worried about you.
And you and Ken both come running around the corner and you're like, are you okay? Did you fall? And I was like, no, I didn't fall. Oh, I just made a noise. And you go, then why is your flip-flop hanging off of the wall next to the stairs?
It's 6 feet up. Like you flicked it and it caught on the wall and you go, oh, and then you burst out laughing. To your credit.
I fell. I fall a lot. That's what I want to say. I fell one time at the pedicure place. They used to serve wine and I had a few and I stood up to leave and I used the arm thing with the little table on it to brace myself, to lift myself up. And it had the empty wine glass on it and it wasn't locked. And so it shot straight out, as did my arm and the wine glass. So the wine glass goes across the room and shatters just as my arm goes and my butt jeans land in the full tub
of water,
of pedicure water. And I'm now like in the pedicure tub.
You know what? Glass
shattered. And that was the day I decided I was going to play it off. And I got up and I was like, oh, I'm fine. And the woman's everybody's panicking. And I was just like, everything. And it made it so
much worse.
Oh, it was so cringy. And I walked out with my whole butt soaked.
Do you know you look crazy? Like, see, here's what she's pointing out. Do you know if you don't just laugh at what happened, you look fucking insane? So wait. So you obviously did this crazy move. Glass shatters. Your arm shoots out. You drop your ass into the water, and then you get up cool. That's hilarious. That makes me laugh.
I did do that. And that still is painful for me to this day. This episode brought to you by Square.
Oh, good. What a good company.
This system that powers like everywhere that I go, including us.
Payroll.
I'll get it. Yes. I forgot. Every time I think of Square, I immediately think about point of sale, which is like what my nail place uses, which is when Jen does the market at Pins, every vendor there is able to accept credit cards.
When we do merch on the road, we use it all the time.
Square
so many comics use it.
Revolutionized our business for sure, because we were like are a mom and pop business basically. And it enabled us to take all these forms of payment. You know, used to, we were like, you have to have cash, like you're a drug dealer or a stripper. And suddenly we were able to not send people.
We do look like a drug dealer
down
and a
the
stripper,
road
by the way, just so you know, together.
to an ATM. Square, they also do, like he said, they do payroll. We use that for Ken. And the thing for me that I love about that is that I am a comedian, not a math genius. And it does everything for me. All I have to do every week is go and enter in hours, and it spits everything else out, separates state taxes, workers' comp. It does all of that. Then it files our quarterly state. It files our federal taxes, and then it just sends me the stuff and sends Ken his. I don't have anything to do with it.
But
it's incredible.
It's incredible. And on top of that, but also, so we'll do them. Let's say you're at a busy amount. You have a small business and you have a thing, and you're trying to sell stuff. If you're trying to wait for cash, or you're running credit cards by hand or whatever, it's going to take you forever. You actually lose sales due to the fact that it takes so long. What we did with Squares, because I'd get done with the show, and we'd have 70 people in line wanting to buy a T-shirt or a box set or whatever of DVDs. And I remember when we first started doing it and we didn't have Square, it took forever. The second show would be held up. Yep. When we got Square, it was like, boop, here, thank you, sign it, thanks, boop, thank you, done. It was like crazy. And all of a sudden we doubled our income at least on merch stuff. Yep. Just because
also you can access earnings immediately with Square Banking. They have all kinds of different things that will help you. You can see your sales and inventory in real time. So if you are a small business or a storefront, it will actually do your inventory for you.
How many you bought? How many sold? Yep.
Kind of crazy. If you're starting a business or running one that needs better tools, Square helps you sell, manage, and grow without slowing down. Right now, you can get up to $200 off all that Square hardware. If you go to square.com/go/Titus, that's SQUARE.com/GO/Titus. Run your business smarter with Square. Get started to dizzle.
Good business. I like that stuff. I want to talk about this conspiracy theory that Ray and I have come up with. So you guys remember QAnon was so big, right? QAnon was constant. They were always putting out stuff pretty much every week about what was going on. There was a pedophile ring in a pizza parlor. They were drinking baby's blood, adrenochrome, which none of us, I've never in my life heard a Democrat say anything about this at all. So out of the blue, it comes out. Well, if you remember, Steve Bannon said years ago, the only way to actually, you got to flood the zone with crazy so you can actually get all the disinformation. And Steve Bannon, by the way, if you guys don't know where his money came from, he was an early producer in Seinfeld. Did you know that?
No, are you serious?
Yeah,
I knew he was a producer. I didn't realize he was part of Seinfeld.
Yes. So check this out. So I want you guys to notice this. What point did Steve? Can you find out when Steve Bannon went to jail? When he started the trial started and stuff?
This wasn't that 2025.
Yeah, and you guys do remember that Steve Bannon was part of the private Build a Wall organization. They raised $10 million.
October 24.
October 24th. That's right about it. So Steve Bannon was part of the organization that had said they were going to, because Trump couldn't get his wall financed. So they are going to raise private money to build the wall. They raised $10 million and then he used it to party. Well, you know why? Because Trump loves the poorly educated.
The thing is that he got pardoned for that. Right. His partner in that went to prison.
And still there.
Yeah. Trump pardoned Bannon. Bannon went to prison for 4 months and got out October 29th, 24 after being convicted in 22 for defying subpoenas from the January 6th committee. So that's all he went to jail for. So he got away with everything else.
So once Bannon went to jail and got out, QAnon stopped.
And he pled guilty to the We Build the Wall fraud case.
So Bannon pled guilty to it.
In February 2025. And then he knew he was going to get pardoned.
So you know why he knew he was going to get pardoned? Because he knows the secrets. Do you know how much shit he's done for Trump? Some of these guys, Ghislaine Maxwell, knows she's going to get pardoned. It's going to happen. And at this point, and people remember something. There are they are breaking the law every day. They were ordered. There was a law passed that they have to release all the Epstein files unredacted. They have to release them. The only thing that can be redacted is the names of the victims. They did the opposite. They redacted all the fucking dipshits who raped kids and put the victims' names out.
Yep.
And they only released half. So every day they're violating the law. Now I remember when you maggots were pissed off that Hunter Biden had a laptop that we didn't fucking know about. about.
It got lost with UPS.
Yeah. Tucker Carlson lost it. Right. Yeah. Darn it. I shouldn't have sent it. Yeah. Maybe if you had it, dickhead, why didn't you put it in your carry-on? So that being said, it's all bullshit. You guys got mad about this Hunter laptop thing that didn't exist. There was never any charges. Hunter basically got what? He got like tax fraud for what? It was like $200,000 maybe. That was the only thing I convicted of. And Hillary never got anything, and she got investigated 35 times. And you fucks were up their ass every day, talking smack. Relatives, friends. Yeah, what about the laptop? Well, the laptop was pretty much bullshit. Now we have a guy violating the law every day, invading countries he said he wasn't going to do, putting basically Gestapo on the street. And you guys are quiet as church mice. What the fuck, man?
Well, here's the other interesting thing is that Bill and Hillary Clinton, former president Bill Clinton, very popular, very successful president, was forced to testify on Friday in front of a House panel. This being the first time a president ever was forced to sit for a deposition, and he did so willingly, even though Jim Jordan still to this day is defying a subpoena to this day, and should have been held in contempt, but Democrats are pussies.
They are.
Bill Clinton, he came and testified, and I guess why I'm confused about their credibility is that Bill Clinton was mentioned like maybe a 10th or a 20th or a 50th amount of times that Donald Trump was mentioned in the Epstein Files. And then we also have videos and pictures of Donald Trump. And then we have Epstein in a under oath deposition bragging about how Donald Trump is his very best friend and had been for over a decade. And
we have pictures of him dancing with him with young girls all around.
We're not calling him
the president, no.
And also Donald Trump owned Mar-a-Lago, where Virginia Giuffre worked in the locker room and met Ghislaine Maxwell. And so
and
we're not going to call
and they
him
also
to testify.
And it's all about trafficking young girls, right? And Trump owned a modeling agency where people have said, no, we were told that take the models and go to Mar-a-Lago. And he had the Miss Teen USA beauty pageant and Miss America pageant, and he traveled all over the world.
I'm just saying.
Took it to Russia. So wait. So we're not interviewing the guy who was best friends with the pedophile sex trafficker?
In Hillary Clinton.
Right.
Oh, wait. This sounds like it's just political theater. It sounds like maybe they really don't actually want to get to the bottom of child rape.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to sum
Chuck
that
Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries both sent out some very, very spicy threads. They really did. Schumer was like, I can't believe this war. What are you doing? There's no congressional approval. And Hakeem is like, we cannot go to war no more.
We're not going to land on that shore.
He's like, listen. All I want is some effective Democrats. That's all I want. And then you got Fetterman. You got Lurch, who's just an
idiot. He's an asshole. I really enjoy Gavin. Big fan.
Gavin, it's gone nuts. Pritzker. I think we need
Pritzker, badass. Yeah.
AOC. But we also don't need. I don't think we need any more. We need some idealized Democrats, which we don't seem to have anymore. What's happened to the Democratic Party, I believe, is that they have also started to really love their cushy fucking job. They get paid. They get to buy stock whenever they want. They know the contracts that are coming up. So they're basically insider trading all the time. They get $192,000, but just the expenses every year for each congressman is $2.4 million, and the highest is $5.4 million. And I think there's a point, and that's why you see why Nancy Pelosi has stayed so long, and why Dianne Feinstein fucking died in office.
I believe I said last week that she had died sometime before.
Strom Thurmond. Grassley.
He was dead.
Grassley's
was Weekend at Bernie's. Strom Thurmond, they just put his ass in an outfit in a sun hat, and his
shirt just had a stick on it that was holding him up.
Legitimately wheel him in to vote. Look this up. And the aide would push the buttons to vote. It was not Strom Thurmond voting. It was his nurse.
Chuck Grassley's 90?
I don't know. If you're really cranked up and you need to calm that jitter down, this episode brought to you by Mudwater. If you're trying to get your mornings together, and I'm telling you, I have had this problem where the more stressed I get, the more coffee I drink, which makes
And then
it
you're
worse.
vibrating, and then you're like,
and then you have brain fog. And then the thing when I do that too is when I wake up in the morning, my body is like so groggy, and it's like when we were in Denver, I was like, I have to get coffee right now because we didn't have it in the hotel room.
Yeah,
we
it was
were
odd
in.
actually. You were cranked up.
Functional mushrooms are kind of the rage right now. And so Mudwater, that's where they come in. So the original blend that they have that we used to tell you guys about is a coffee alternative that's made with cacao, chai, turmeric, and functional mushrooms like lion's mane and reishi, so that you would get like a warm kind of focused boost without the buzz or the midday crash and all of that. But
that hollow feeling that coffee gives you.
Yeah. And then in the afternoon, you need another one to get back up.
Right.
They now have, if you're like a coffee person and you're like, no, I really it's hard for me not to have coffee at all, but I don't want to do like I've been doing. You're in luck. They just launched a low-calf coffee that's made with Arabica coffee beans, L-theanine, and the same functional mushrooms you get in the other blends. So it's like really rich. It's got a really smooth taste, but it only has 45 milligrams of caffeine, which is incredible, and also will help you taper off.
There you go. There you go.
But that way you get the flavor you love. You're getting that coffee fix, but you're not getting all of the crazy crap on the other side of it. Also, I just want to tell you guys, every single ingredient that they use in Mudwater is 100% USDA certified organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, and kosher. No sugar, no sweeteners added. So definitely like a better way to go if you are a coffee junkie, like I have been lately. Ready to make the switch to cleaner energy? Just go to mudwater.com and grab your starter kit today. Right now, you guys will get this exclusive deal. You'll get up to 43% off of the entire order, and you'll get free shipping and a free rechargeable frother if you use promo code Titus. That's right. Up to 43% off with promo code Titus at mudwtr.com. Same deal. After you buy it, they're going to say, how did you hear about us? Tell them Titus Podcast so that they know that we sent you.
Right.
mudwtr.com.
The frothing. There's something about the frothing that makes, when you froth my coffee in the morning, it makes it so much better. I don't know why.
Special.
That's
they have all other ingredients too, like to add to. So just go to their website. They have like some really cool stuff. And definitely right now, as we're preparing for Armageddon, we're not going to be able to use our Nespressos. So, or will we? I don't know.
Listen, I've purchased a specific solar panel just to make sure the Nespresso works.
Okay, good. Bill Clinton told the panel, even the Republicans said he, was surprisingly candid. They thought House Republicans said he answered candidly. Democrats said that the fact that he did so under oath now opens the door to questioning others.
Yeah, that's what but they always do this though. Here's how stupid the Republicans are. They do some crazy shit. Let's go Democrats, and they set a precedent. So now they've set a precedent. Now you can bring in a president and have him to Congress. Well, that means we can bring Trump in now then. Like, you guys are so, if you guys wanted to protect him, and the reality of this is like, what did he try? He tried Minneapolis. He tried, what else did he, Maduro, Venezuela, and now he's doing Iraq. It's all to avoid the Epstein Files.
It's funny because even Nancy Mace said he did attempt to respond to every single question he was asked, even when his attorney told him to shut up. He said that he had a brief acquaintance with him. It ended years before those crimes came to light in 2008. So there are no pictures and video of them together after everybody found out Epstein was a creep in Florida. And he said, I never witnessed during our limited interactions any indication of what was going on. I'm here to offer what little I know so that it might prevent anything like this from ever happening again. He said that he grew up in a home with abuse. Right. And so, I don't know. I thought it was interesting that Republicans said that he answered candidly. Right.
That's the thing. Here's how good it had to be. If they can't even talk any shit, that means it was so good.
Yeah, that's their favorite.
Hey, why don't we release that transcript? No, it's okay. We don't need to do it. No, whoa. You don't want to release the transcript of Bill Clinton, who you said raped kids? Yes. Come on. Why don't you release that transcript, guys?
No. They say they're going to put the video out.
I've never seen our government And I believe, and I never used to believe this, I think there's a lot of really good Democrats that care, but I'm watching them have literally zero effectiveness on anything. Anything. The best they can seem to do is throw a mild wrench into things for a couple of weeks, and then it goes through anyway.
Yep.
And if you guys want to comment, go to Christopher Titus TV, and you want to comment on this video, please do it, because I want to hear if you know something, because I'm losing so much faith. My family's been here 400 years, so and my entire life is based on the First Amendment. My entire job is based on the freedom this country provides. And this podcast is based on that. And it really pisses me off that we don't have a group of Democrats that can, okay, let's even talk about this. Politics is all getting the population to focus and get them to be inspired and do what they need to do, right? Because one guy who's representing you can't handle it. We all think that. But the only way it changes, like that's why Barack Obama was so effective. Hope and change. When Barack spoke, you were like, holy shit. I remember the night he won. That was the best speech I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And I remember loving my country. I remember thinking, you know what? We're moving to a new era. America's growing up. And then we fucking took 55 steps back by electing the dumbest, most corrupt, rapist pedophile that any of us could possibly imagine. Yeah, but it doesn't seem real.
You think about what Obama said, you get the politician that you deserve. And I think that it's more of a representation of society now, the populace.
But you do understand.
Not all of us.
I agree with you, but this tracks back and we keep talking about it. And this is why I want to educate you people, because I'm older than a lot of you people. So when Reagan became president, he actually cut back. He closed all the mental hospitals, which increased homelessness incredibly. Look up the stats. He closed all the places, and he cut down so many services. Like up till then, we'd kind of been a benevolent society, and we were helping people.
Donald Trump is just done.
Right. Mm-hmm. So all the services, SNAP, whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're starving the poorest. Mm-hmm. It's what I said early on. The billionaires have decided that the people with nothing have too much, and that is so fucked up. So Reagan came in. So what ends up happening is, and I do it in my show. I do this. By the way, can I thank everybody in Denver for this last week? It was great. Ray, this girl broke in new material, like brand new. Okay, so she just filmed her special, right? She broke in 20 new minutes, of new material.
I did one bit from my show that wasn't about cancer, and then just did the entire set of about brand new stuff I just wrote. Yeah. And it was terrifying and
but here's how good she is. By set 4, you got applause breaks 4 sets in. That no one does that.
It was so fun. It was about, you guys gotta come see it, but my grandma Jean, who has been on this podcast, and you guys have heard me talk about her in my comedy, she told me that she's a tour person. And because old people, that's what they do. So she came out to visit LA and asked me to book us on a tour. And she's expecting an open top bus Hollywood movie star tour.
Yeah.
And I booked a tour called Dead Hollywood. And I didn't tell her. And it's where they tour all the famous places that people were killed.
Or murdered or died or killed themselves.
Mostly horrible deaths. And they play 911 calls over the speaker. And anyway, it was amazing.
Yeah, it's a funny bit. So, so here's the thing. So what was I saying before we went to Denver?
You were talking about Reagan.
So Reagan actually went and destroyed our educational system. You used to be able to go to college for basically free. And then he made it 10 times more expensive. So what happens is the people with the money ended up going to college. Now, Reagan was told by an advisor early on when he was governor of California that an educated proletariat is hard to manage. And if we can look back in history, we can see that during the 60s, when our great-grandfathers came back from World War II, they realized that the only way to actually get our way out of problems is to solve them with our brains. So all those kids from the 50s on went to college. What ended up happening then, by the 60s, we had such an educated, free-thinking, critical thinking population that Vietnam got shut down by the people. People understood that, and we don't have that anymore because Reagan destroyed our education system. So now we're 40 years later, and our education system is shit on toast. So now you got dumb people, because as the Republicans say, we love the poorly educated. They say it. He fucking said it out loud. So now you've got dumb people buying the bullshit that it's the guy who's mowing the lawn, who started his own business with a used fucking Toyota. That guy's ruining your life, which is exactly what Hitler did with the Jews. So the people that are ruining your life are the guys with the jets, with the guys with the 3 yachts, and the guys who fucking own everything. That's who's fucking your life up.
And who aren't paying taxes.
They're
like
not paying.
You are.
Right. You're paying. Let's say after effective tax rate, after you've done your deductions, let's say you're paying 20% of your money out. Elon Musk is paying 8% or 4% or
don't
0
deductions like that.
Right.
Like, I mean,
Right.
like we don't
30,
deduct
right.
like
You're paying
small
36%.
businesses do. Yeah, most people are paying in the 30s, and Elon pays 0 on his business, and some low percentage rate on his personal.
Do you know how he does it? So he's got all that stock in Tesla. So what he does is he borrows. Okay, so he gets a giant loan for $50 million from the bank, right? And then when tax time comes, he doesn't have any income. He has no income. He has 0 income because it's all in stock. So because he has 0 income, he pays 0 taxes. Yet he's worth almost $1 trillion, at least 500 billion. So we've now rigged the system so bad for the wealthy. We've rigged the system so bad. It's what Carlin said, man. It's a big club and you're not in it. And we can see it now that when you see, like, we have got the biggest of the biggest, the most richest, powerfulest white men on the planet fucking earth were fucking kids on an island and their names got redacted. So now to divert from that, the president, which I hate using that word for him, has now, for no reason, started bombing another country.
Right.
So at the end of the day, people, the system, here's what I think. This is not a problem that's going to be solved easily. This is not going to be, someone's going to go, all right, guys, we've passed, the legislative body has got together and the Senate and the House has approved it. We have now passed a law that everything is smooth now. This is going to take a revolution. We're fucked.
Well, and meanwhile, while that's happening, the largest issue on the internet is that Jim Carrey showed up at the César Awards.
Yeah.
He was an honorary winner and honoring his life and work and contribution. And the internet is flooded with people because he looks a little bit different. If you go look at the actual pictures and video, he looks like Jim Carrey.
It looks like Jim Carrey.
Who maybe got a little older and
Some
maybe
filler.
did a little like everybody does.
Exactly.
So, well, not everybody. But I
also
plan on doing a lot.
Oh, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna
I'm going to do this thing.
Yeah, I'm doing
pretty
that
soon.
too. You're gonna see just a knot of skin behind the back of my head.
Yeah, I
Where they
don't
pull
care.
everything
Just-
and that's what I want, like a ratchet in the back. You just
Yeah,
go clink,
Lucy
clink,
Ball,
clink, clink.
when she filmed I Love Lucy, they used tape and a wire behind the back and under her hair and literally taped it. That's why she always had that look. But she was 42, I think,
Wow.
43
Wow.
when they started filming that. So think about, and she looked great, but I don't want to do tape. I'm just going to go get the skin
Honestly,
knot. and
when you let that go at the end of the day,
it needs to be timed.
You could take an eye out. All right, everybody, hold your
Yeah. And then you don't want
Get
to
behind the glass.
yeah, you don't want everybody to see that. So I'm just going to.
See you guys tomorrow.
He looks like Jim Carrey. I went to see. So people on the internet are saying, and this is the biggest thing, we just bombed Iran, and my feeds are flooded with the new conspiracy theory. Jim Carrey, because he criticized the administration, is dead, and he has been replaced with someone pretending to be him.
Right, because that's easy to do. We can get someone who looks just like him. So, but this goes back to education.
Right.
We are so willing to
I know, that's
believe
why I brought it
the
up. You're welcome.
stupidest shit ever. And you know who's not thinking about Jim Carrey? People in Ukraine who had their buildings destroyed. The one thing that America doesn't quite understand is what it really means to live in a war zone. We talk about, yeah, we're at war. No, we're not. We're going to fucking stores and movies and doing everything. Iraq was at war. The people in Iraq were at war. Syria, they were at war. Right now, Ukraine is at war because they're seeing damage. In America, we haven't had that happen. We had 9/11 happen, and for a brief moment, we were one country. For a brief moment,
We're
it brought
going
us
to learn,
together.
I sense.
Oh, I sense that's what I was about to say. I think we're going to understand that maybe the Jim Carrey thing, not the number one issue.
Combination of Donald Trump and AI, we are
Fucked.
Here's an example of a tweet. Jim Carrey was cloned and killed by Satanists. They can create a clone in 5 months. This is what I love about these people. I actually have a family member that is very much like by marriage, not. Well, I probably have a couple by marriage. There's one that thinks that Heil Hitler started because people used to say "Hi Hitler" on the street. She told me she saw that on the History Channel, and that's how it begins. Is yet people are just out vigorously waving, saying "Hi Hitler." And so you have to be careful. But the other one very much is into Gab. And the oddest thing I have found about them is that they love to sound like they know something no one else does. So they will take a completely made up thing and create facts about it. Like 5 months.
Well, you know, if you look at
a clone.
Listen, if you look at cloning, honestly, because it takes a human being 9 months to gestate a human being, right? We can develop a full-size human being that looks just like Jim Carrey in 5 months, full grown. But are you ready for this?
The Illuminati is apparently involved.
Tell me this. Ask me how.
You're being Aunt Sandy today. You're just tapping.
You were poking me on the plane yesterday. Beep boop beep.
What do you want me to ask you?
Just ask me about how they do that. How that's impossible.
How would they clone a human being?
Like you don't think that can happen? Oh, you don't think medical technology has enough to clone human beings? Wow. Do you read? So and they'll just turn
books, but not
the Inquirer.
Gab.
Is Elvis involved in this at any time?
Yeah, they think Elvis.
But dumb. It's dumb. People are dumb.
Yeah.
And so the one thing that the powerful who are educated understand is that if you can just keep feeding this bullshit to idiots, the idiots will actually be focused on everything except what they should be focused on. We're in for it. I'm going to predict this. And I want you guys to know something. This podcast, we've been right for 12 years. We've predicted the martial law that's coming. Remember when he took Millie out on the street? We predicted that was coming.
I predicted years ago that Letitia James was going to be the first person to take him down. Yeah. And she was. And then that didn't work out.
Yeah.
I predicted Kamala.
So here's what I predict.
Okay.
I predict that what's going to happen is it's not going to be like the George Floyd thing. It's going to be he's fucking up his own civil war right now because the people that used to back him 100% don't back him 100% anymore. They're like, what the hell's going on? Even the people that really backed him are like, there was a guy released a song last week called The Red Hat. And it's basically about burning your red hat and getting your life back as a hardcore country artist. So I believe that we are going to have a blow up. He's going to be pulled out of the White House. The military is going to turn on him. And we are going to see something like a coup that we've never seen. It's going to be good. It'll be good for America, but there's going to be because we look like clowns to the world right now. The rest of the world thinks we're fucking lost.
Yeah.
The UN is saying that he's a war criminal.
Yes.
The UN is saying that our president is a war criminal, and I agree with them.
Yep.
So get ready, people. I would say have some water and some snacks ready.
And some vodka.
Vodka's helpful. By the way, also for
Can
trade.
be used as an antiseptic. Will probably be a currency.
Vodka. Oh my God. How much vodka do you have? An ounce of vodka is worth whatever.
You can use the bottle to knock someone out.
Wow. I didn't even realize that a bottle of vodka is literally the perfect everything for the
apocalypse.
Why do you
think I stock it?
That's I never I always think you're just a raging alcoholic with a problem. But you're actually trying to save the world.
I'm a survivalist.
I'm not an alcoholic. I'm a survivalist.
That's my new t-shirt.
Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Do me a favor. Pay attention. Get smart. Start thinking critically. And please scream sanity. When the morons start talking about Jim Carrey, go, hey, we bombed another country this week, right?
Yeah.
So keep conversation back to what it is because maybe we can get out of this. Maybe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Go to ChristopherTitus.com to get anything. I'm off for this week. Next week I'll be at Springfield.
Blue Room.
Yeah,
Springfield. Purchased by Adam, who owns all the clubs that we love.
Yep.
Tacoma and Louisville and Spokane. He owns a lot of clubs.
And come see Doomed to Repeat. Doomed to Repeat what do you think of this show?
It's brilliant. It's actually ready, I think.
Yeah, really?
So fast. Yeah, I
That's
think mine's
too.
ready to film too. I've done it 5 times and think I'm ready to go.
Trust me, with comics nowadays, all these young comics think I got half an hour, I'm doing a special. Shut up. No.
I like what you've done with all that chest you've been showing today. You didn't even bother, but
It's broken. I got a broken button. I knew you were going to say it too, you dick. I knew you were going to say something.
This is a constant battle in our household because you really are Ken Titus and you really do want.
I am not Ken Titus.
It's that Tom Selleck era
Let's
of
talk
men.
about it. No, my button's broken.
Oh. Okay.
Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for myself, the lovely Bombshell Ray, Chaplin, and Groucho. Later.
Peace out.
Bye, guys.